Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Lamson Family Farms. Today is Friday, February 9th, and I thought I'd take you along for some morning chores. Farm chores usually take me anywhere between 20 minutes to an hour and a half in the morning, depending on what I've got going on that day. Today is going to be a longer day. I've got to feed everyone, and I also have to fill up everyone's water. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so I have been soaking the feed every night, so this is my chicken food for the day, and I've also been feeding my goats soaked alfalfa with a little bit of like an all stock sweet feed kind of food, just to give them a little bit extra. Right now they're just on free choice hay, and they're doing okay, but I've got a bunch of pregnant girls, and so I like them to have a little bit more just nutrients during the day. They also get free choice minerals and a salt block. So I've only been soaking the food for a couple of weeks, and I wish I had done it sooner. It's so much easier, and I feel like it just slows them down and makes the food last longer. So I can feed all of my goats, give my miniature Jersey steer calf a scoop, and give my horse a scoop of soaked feed, all from just two, and I just use these farm scoops, all from just 2 scoops of alfalfa dried and 1 scoop of all stock dried. I just soak it overnight. And then the chicken food feeds the 40 chickens upstairs, and I'm only doing 2 1/4 scoops of layer crumble, and then just topping it with water. It's great. Okay. Okay, so that's the goats. Calf is ready. Off we go. Okay, so here's the feed all ready to go. This is the big basin that I soak it overnight. I have my chicken feed all ready to go, and then those are the goat trays that I separate into their pens. So the two bottom bigger bins are for 2 sections of girl goats, and then I've got my 2 weather boys, and I have my buck. So these girls are going to need more hay today. So the big girls, they get about, each section, there's the 3 sections, and they get about a bale of hay about every other day. I gave them about a third of a bale yesterday on top of what they already had, and that's almost empty. And then the little girls are about half done. I gave them a full bale yesterday. You can see it here. So the second day, I pen it up because goats get very disinterested in food when it's touching the ground. They are browsers, not grazers. Whereas sheep, will graze a field, goats won't. They like to browse and eat leaves and things high. So I pen it up and it helps them keep their interest. Anyway, I'm going to fill it up today. And the boys, both sections of the boys are fine. So Poe's just the one goat back there, and his hay net always empties faster than these 2 weather goats, and that's because the weathers like to eat off of Poe's hay, and so that will empty faster than their hay. I almost never have to fill up the weather's hay because they don't eat it. So they're eating their alfalfa, and I'll toss them down a couple of bales. Are you guys hungry? You ready for some food? Yeah, how many eggs did you guys lay today, huh? eggs in the back corner. Need to put some nest boxes over there. They've decided they like to roost on the ground or lay eggs on the ground under their roost. Let's see. It's kind of a pain to have to bend over to get those eggs, but it's an awkward space, and you know the chicken's tall enough for them, so it doesn't make them claustrophobic. Let's see, in the nest boxes we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. That's the most they've ever laid. And I have a feeling that this one is definitely a double yolker. Here it is compared to a normal size egg. We've been getting a lot of double yolkers. You tend to get double yolkers from new egg layers just because they're so inconsistent in the beginning. Everybody's excited. And so it's been fun to see all the different doubles.
You ready, buddy? Are you ready? Are you ready? So this is my horse Jeddah. Hi Jeddah. Jeddah is, I guess we're in a new year. I think he's 18 now. He's 17. I always get them mixed up because we have two horses. One was 15, one was 17 last year. So I think Jeddah was the older one. He's 18. And Mary is now 16. And Wicket, our donkey, is 16 years old. Jeddah is a former Amish buggy horse. And we've had the horses now since, I think we got them at the end of June 2023. All of them were kill pen purchases, so they were headed to slaughter. I saw him online and I really loved him, and went and saw him in person, and I just over the moon. So very happy with him so far. Jeddah tries so hard to please. He's such a good boy. You're such a good boy. Yeah, I'm talking about you. He just doesn't know a lot about being under saddle. He was a buggy horse. He drove. He's very willing, and he's never offered to buck, but I don't think he ever had a formal education in riding. And so he's just been trying. He's a good boy, but he just doesn't know. I've been having a heck of a time trying to get him to canter because he wants to trot faster and faster and faster because he would have been pulling a buggy, so he would not have been cantering. And I really want him to canter. He has such a fast, bumpy trot. It's very hard to post on that. And it's just not very smooth. So for a riding horse, it's not ideal. But I love him. You can see he's got a pretty bad sway back. So this year my goals for him are to work on cantering and work on developing the muscles to canter and kind of develop this top line a bit more. We didn't think we wanted horses, but when we moved here, we were like, well, let's get 2 horses, then we can ride around our property. We were on 86 acres, and about 50 of it is wooded, and about 20 of it is pasture. So we thought it would be nice to have some horses. And we bought these kill pen horses. They're cheaper. You don't know what you're getting until you get them home. It's just part of the deal. So we've got a good deal on these horses, and we will ride them until they're ready for retirement, and then they will retire here. They're not going anywhere. And it was a good experience to see if we really liked having horses. And we do. So the next horses we get, I think we'll put more money into the horses and buy ones now that we know what we want. Now that I've had Jeddah, he's about 15.1 hands. I think I would like something maybe a little shorter. I'm not a tall person. I'm only 5'4", so it's very hard for me to get on him. I always thought I wanted a big horse, and big would be fine, but I also like going fast, and I want to be able to mount my horse without a mounting block. And so I think it would be better for me to have something that's a little bit shorter and stocky. I want something that can canter. I do think it would be nice to have a cow horse at some point because we do have cows, and I'm planning on putting them out in the pasture. It would be nice to rotationally graze. So I might want something that could push cattle. And Jeddah just doesn't have it in him. So, but for Jeddah, I've been working a lot with him just to engage. And he really has mellowed since I've got him. Like this head position, he would have never done when we got him. He was just so frantic about losing the herd. And he really was very buddy sour. He's just nervous. And I think he's decompressed a lot. Haven't you, buddy? I love you. He's really decompressed a lot. And he's definitely learned more and more that he can trust me. And that I will make good decisions for him. And it's definitely progress. So it's been fun. I've been really enjoying this experience with him. He's a sweet horse. I can't believe I have him. He's so gorgeous. We got him in the summer, and he was just super shiny, black horse with the white on his face. You can see he's got some graying. He's got grayed face. He's just beautiful. You're just so pretty. Yeah. He's a really good boy. He does everything I want him to. He's very willing to please. He wants to try. He doesn't have a mean bone in him. He's just nervous. He's so fast. He has a very fast trot, and I always get a little scared because he's not very sure-footed, which is not a great mix for a horse that doesn't like to go out by himself. He's definitely fallen a number of times when I've been lunge roping him. So we're just working on that. So this is Mary on the left. He's Julia's horse. He is 16 years old now, and he is a draft cross. He was also rescued from a kill buyer, so he would have went to slaughter if we wouldn't have bought him. He's just the best horse. He's a draft cross, and he definitely was a pulling horse, probably a field horse. He's very weak in the back end, and don't know if you can see it in this video. He's got pretty bad DSLD in the back. He's just the best. He's definitely a babysitter horse. You could do anything with him. He does anything you want him to do. We do not ride him a whole lot. And we knew he had that DSLD when we got him, and we knew it. And so it didn't seem to cause him any pain when we got him, and it still doesn't, but we don't ride very often with him. He maybe gets ridden about 30 minutes once a month, if that. And so the level that we have him at right now, he's not in any pain. We have noticed he's starting to get grouchier about if we want him to work more. And so he's very close to not being ridden at all. We don't want him to be in pain, and these horses will both retire here. So he's just going to be a pasture pet when he doesn't want to ride anymore, or if it's too painful. Jetta's got a lot left in him. When I got Jetta, he had a big crack up his front, I think it was his front left hoof. And I asked the farrier about that, and he said that was a blunt force trauma accident. So I have a feeling that Jetta probably got in an accident as a buggy horse, and they sold him. He's just a sweet horse, and there's really nothing else wrong with him. So I think that's what happened. I have a feeling from how nervous he was when we got him that he was getting too nervous to pull the buggy anymore, and they just were done with him. So the other reasons why I think he was a buggy horse was we have Amish who drive by our property quite a bit. And so when he hears the buggy's going by, he gets really nervous and he stares at the road. And anytime I've ridden him anywhere close to the road, he gets really nervous. So I do think he was in an accident involving a car. And like I said, he didn't know anything about riding. He was very confused. When I try to move him to the sides, he really does well going to the right side, but not the left side, which would make sense because if he's on the road, they would want him to be closer to the right edge of the road. So that's another reason why I think he was a buggy horse. Oh, Jetta. Anyway, they're very good boys. I love them a lot. So one of the other things that I'm going to do today for chores is refill everyone's water. We're supposed to have below freezing temperatures a good portion of next week. And so when I know I'm getting below freezing, I like to fill up the water because this barn is not plumbed, and I fill up everyone's water in here right now from hoses, and it's a lot easier to do it when it's not frozen. So this is our steer calf. He's a mini. He will be a year old. When were you? You were born in the end of June. So he's our steer calf. He was not originally meant to be in this stall like this. I had wanted him out with the other cows, but he learned how to nurse around his weaning ring. And he was still suckling on his mom after he was 6 months old, and it was time. So he's been in here for a couple of weeks. I think what I'm going to do is put him with the horses, because he's actually about the same size as our donkey right now. And our donkey's been with him since really he was born. So that shouldn't be a problem. I'm just a little concerned that he's going to try to get through our electric fence to get over to his mom and our other cow, because they're on the other side of the horse field. So he's been very sweet though so far. We did steer him. We didn't send off his hairs for testing, just because he was a little bit too big when he was born to be a good candidate to be a bull for a mini Jersey. You know, he certainly wasn't the biggest mini Jersey calf I've ever seen, but he was 24 inches at birth. And a lot of the mini Jersey cattle people say, take the birth height and double it, and that will be about their adult size. And so to be a mini Jersey, he has to be under 42 inches at the hook of the hip. And so if, you know, you took 24 times 2, that would put him in a mid-size range. So I don't think he's going to end up staying mini. I think he's going to end up being a mid. And yes, he is from 2 mini Jersey cows, but two minis can still produce a mid. So I thought he would be better as a steer. So anyway, we didn't send off his hairs for A2 status, but I never dehorned him, and he has no horns. So he's definitely at least heteropoled. I don't think he's homopoled, but he will be raised as our next beef cow. Okay, so I've got the water going now for the horses, and then I'll fill up the cows indoor, the cows outdoor, and the calves water, and I will also fill up the poultry's water upstairs. But I'm getting my feed ready for tomorrow. And so since I soak the food, I usually do it in the morning so it has a full day to soak. That way, just when I do animals in the evening, come out and do my evening chores, I can see if it needs more water or too much and I need to add more, so then I can just kind of regulate it a bit more. So I do 2 scoops alfalfa. And right now I'm doing alfalfa pellets. These are Country Companions alfalfa pellets, 50-pound bags is what I buy it in. I've also done the compressed cubes, and I like the pellets a little bit better, just because the compressed cubes, they kind of tend to stand up above the water and then they don't get soaked through all the way, and it just is a little bit more uneven than the pellets. And I'm just doing 1 scoop of a essentially sweet feed. Some people call it all stock. I'm trying to remember what we called it in Washington now. Got used to how they call it in New York. It's been called sweet feed. Oh. I forget now. Anyway, that's funny. Anyway, I'm going to do 1 scoop of that, and then I'm going to top that up with water. And for the chickens, for the barn chickens, I do 2 1/4 scoops of layer crumble. They get it in a separate bucket. And I always try to use different scoops for this because I am feeding the alfalfa pellets to the goats, and chicken feed is poisonous to goats, and so I try not to mix. So I like to keep the scoops separate because the chicken food is poisonous to goats. and there wouldn't be a lot of cross-contamination, but just like to keep it separated. So anyway, I'm just going to finish up with water, and then I'll be done for the day. It's been about, I think I've been out here for about an hour, which is a little bit longer than usual. On a typical day, it's roughly 20 to 30 minutes. It is a lot easier now for chores that I've got kind of everybody situated, and I've got some more things in place to make it easier on a daily basis, like the hay nets, the water buckets, things like that. Remember to subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you next time. Bye.